Hey up, well, we've finally arrived at Kilchurn Castle, so let's go and grab some shots. So that scene looked very calm, and in reality it was more like this. So we'd got the wind blowing on the trees, we'd got the wind disturbing the loch, the water on the loch, so we weren't going to get any classic reflections of the castle today, and so that took me back to the first scene that I found, and I felt this was workable as a composition. So we'd got a layer of grass there that was filtering out the water movement on the loch and making the pool in front of it more still. Just a few ripples, but it did give us a reflection of the light on the mountain and the sky. So I did feel this scene was worth having to play with. Didn't like the mud on the left hand side there, and obviously the trees had a bit of movement, so we probably weren't going to use them in the composition. But I did feel this little area had a lot of potential. Then I moved back and went into portrait orientation and found this next shot, and I really did like this. We'd got now we've got a pool of water coming into the scene from the bottom, kind of acting as a leading line. We've got grasses either side of it. We then lead towards the little reflection pool, part of the loch that was there. We'd got the layer of the grasses, and then we'd got a thin layer of the loch itself. So we tried to minimise that moving water, but that little strip there halfway up the image is quite important because that does break the image up. Then we've got the castle, the mountain, and the sky. So we just worked this scene and took a number of shots, waiting for the light in between the rain, and we got some nice shots there, as you'll see in a moment. So we move round then to this to a classic area, so lots of shots taken from here. And we've got this grass in front of us, and here I tried to take 2 different shots. I took a long exposure shot to try and get some movement in the grasses, just to create a look. Then I took a faster shutter speed to freeze the action, but these images weren't as nice, I felt, as the first ones. We'll have a quick look now at all the images I captured from this first location at Kilchurn Castle.
Go on then.
Okay, some awesome shots.
Don't start again.
Yeah. Okay, we had some great light there. The weather's now closed in, the clouds come over, and we're off to Glencoe Mountain Resort, where I think it's going to be a little bit more challenging and a little bit colder. Well, let's go. So after driving through a little bit more wind and rain and sun and rainbows, we arrived at the Glencoe Mountain Resort and took a few shots here. Had something to eat, very nice cafe, had a cake and a coffee, bit of a toilet stop, and we was planning to walk from here to Kingshouse Hotel, which was quite a bit of a walk, but Helen was up for it. So on the way down, we came to Black Rock Cottage, took a few shots here, mainly putting the cottage in the left hand side of the scene. Some images where we'd got the mountain more prominent than others. We didn't get great light here, I've got to say, so we just used the rocks in the foreground a little and just played around with different compositions, but I didn't think we'd got anything particularly stunning here. It was a bit of a pit stop on the way down, and we was heading towards or trying to find the Cauldron waterfall. Anyway, so we carried on walking, and we got some shots of the buckle, and this was our first view of the buckle itself. So we did some panos, we did get some light in between everything that was happening. Then we walked down to Kingshouse Hotel, took a trek down there. Now, I thought I knew exactly where the waterfall was. It was in my head, it was going to be where I was going to walk to. So we walked round the back of Kingshouse Hotel, and I know what you're thinking, because if you've been there, you know it's not round the back of the Kingshouse Hotel. So we walked round the back, followed the river a little way, well, quite a long way actually, and then Helen sort of said, "Where's this waterfall then?" And I kind of looked now, I looked back and I looked at the position of the Buckle Mountain and kind of realised that it wasn't going to be where we was walking to. So there was no phone signal, so I couldn't have a look on my phone exactly where it was. We did have our guidebook of Scotland with us, that was in the car, and that did pinpoint exactly where the waterfall was. But because in my head I knew where it was, I didn't need to look at that book. So then we walked back to Kingshouse Hotel and followed the river down, thinking it might be in that direction. So we did get this shot on the way, quite like this shot. Trees on the left, got the river moving off into the distance with the mountain just set at the back there. So I did like this. And at this point I did do some filming to camera. I did talk to camera at this point, just with a little bit of a message of how I was feeling at that point.
But this is a fabulous site. When you live in an urban environment like we do in Nottingham, and we drive to work every day through the urban sprawl, when you come and sit in front of something like this, it's like watching an epic movie, but you're part of it. Now, we have been looking for a waterfall here, so we're just next to the Kingshouse Hotel, and we're looking for the Cauldron, and we've been all over the place. We've been at the back of it, at the front of the Kingshouse Hotel, and can we find it? And today we're running out of time now because we need to make us way back to his accommodation. So we're going to have to leave the Cauldron maybe for another day. So we're going to give this another 10 minutes here, and if we don't get the light, we're going to make us way back.
So we'd had a very long day, we'd done a bit of walking, and we made the decision to walk back to the car and make our way back to the accommodation. And yeah, having failed to find the Cauldron, we were going to have to leave that for another day. So we do have another attempt at looking for the Cauldron in the next video, I think it is. Well, it won't be the next one, it'll be the next Scottish video. Anyway, on the way back, I had planned to stop at Loch Tulla viewpoint, and we did. I just got away with it. And it's a very touristy kind of stop. And my first impression of this was, it was called Loch Tulla viewpoint, but you didn't really have much of a view of the loch. It was very hidden by all the trees. So you might want to rename that Anyway, what we'll do, we'll end. That was our last stop for the day. We'd been out since 7 o'clock in the morning. We didn't get back till 6:30, and we were both very tired. So we'll finish the video on these pano shots. So this was a great location to do some panos, and what we'd got in these shots, we'd got rain coming in the distance. We'd had rain coming in the distance at us all day, but we'd got a significant amount of rain you could see in the images, and eventually it did arrive, and we got in the car and drove back. But what a great day it was! Very diverse day of taking different types of pictures, and really enjoyable but tiring. So we'll end the video on these panos, and I hope you like them. They did come out quite well, but you can't see much of Loch Tulla in them, I'm afraid. Now the next video, we're going to intersplice the Scottish videos with autumn, because we're in autumn now. So the next video is autumn, and it's kind of called Plan B, because I did have Plan A, and somebody closed a road, so I had to go into Plan B. So next video is autumn, and then after that we'll go to the Lochen in Glencoe, and we also visit the Three Sisters, the big Three Sisters. Okay, thank you for watching. If you like the video, give the video a like, pop a comment in the bottom. If you like this content, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you to everybody that's subscribed so far. I'm really pleased. Some people moan if they've only got 1,000 subscribers. I'm well happy with 315. Well happy. Anyway, onwards. So, autumn next, then back to Scotland. I'll see you later.